Welcome. And the question today from Canadianimal is: Canadians of Reddit, marijuana has been legal for 2 years. What differences have you noticed? Hi, this is Derek. I just put the Drama Llama, Fred, back in his llama pen, so that I can do this quick video for you with some of the stuff that Fred found on Reddit earlier today. Oh boy, let's get ready for some drama. Amy Honesty answered with: as soon as it became legal, the construction site for a massive marijuana farm/warehouse thing appeared down the road from my house. Jobs is good. Does it smell though? I haven't noticed any smells. I am not sure if they have started producing yet. Also, my house is basically in a forest, broken up mainly by farmland. So there are plenty of other smells that might block it out. You will smell it constantly once it's in full production. There's a production plant by the airport on my town. And you can smell it from a few blocks away. My friend got his property taxes lowered by getting the assessor to stand in the backyard and breathe in the greasy fried chicken wafting into his backyard. Worth looking into? Are you effing kidding me? I'd pay extra to have that smell coming in through my windows. Anonymat answered with: my cousin finally has a legit career. Goals man, goals. Denver here. I used to be an analytical chemist. Became a cannabis mad scientist. And now I make twice as much money while being twice as stoned. Life is good. What does a cannabis mad scientist do? That's a job description I need to have. A level 2 answered with: a lot of organizations went totally smoke-free in response to legalization. Even places which used to have smoking areas removed them. We tried banning smoking in my strata because, well, it was something owners were asking for. And legalization of weed was coming up. The bylaw to ban smoking of tobacco products passed with flying colors. The bylaw to ban smoking cannabis was shot down. Sart Herf answered with: buying pot is so much more civilized. I bought weed a few times from this guy that called himself the Revolution. He calls himself that because he wants eighths to be $20, instead of the regular $30. That's the revolution. I had to meet up in a park to buy, and sometimes he's hiding in the shadows. So sometimes I'd have to yell out, "Yo! Revolution! The revolution, is that you?" Anyway, his weed was terrible. Which is why he was able to charge only $20. I stopped going after a few times. Steroid Jenkins answered with: I've noticed more neighbors smoke weed outside without worrying about being caught. I'm not talking about teenagers either. I'm talking like moms and dads. How else would moms and dads deal with kids? Medicated parents are so much better with their kids. Defletta answered with: the 420 bus in Montreal now stops at a weed shop. Ah, that's fun. I like that a lot. I want to move to Canada, bro. That sounds amazing. Dodge it like Neo answered with: slightly more weed smell downtown. I've actually been surprised with the lack of smell. I live near and work at a university, and this was always the worry for me. But I wouldn't say I noticed the smell much more than when it was illegal. Yeah, pre-legalization people here were pretty openly smoking weed anyway. Exactly. Lol. Nothing changed for most people except it's way easier to get weed now. No more asking around for it, or meeting people you don't or barely know. No more concern about if you'll be able to find any. You just go to a store where and when you feel like it. It's awesome. Cops never really cared that much about pot to begin with here. Mr. Mastodon answered with: I moved to Canada 2 years ago and didn't like weed at all. I was fine with others using it as long as it wasn't in my face. I've learned that the reason I didn't like it was because of the kind of people I knew who smoked it back home. Turns out that when it's legal you don't have any more of those. Weed is a personality people. Now I even work for a licensed producer, but I still don't smoke. To be fair, most people who fit the description of X as a personality are rather insufferable. There are definitely still weed as a personality people. They're just different now. They talk about all the strains, or the billion ways to consume it, or how their weed stocks are doing. It's weird. Wattsirsty Oil answered with, everyone grows now. I was talking openly at work the other day with 5 other coworkers who all were growing. Young, old, rich, poor, everyone is growing weed. And prices are way down. It's almost impossible to sell weed as a small-time dealer nowadays. You used to be able to make a living as a dealer with just a couple dozen regulars. Now you have to be growing to make any money, and even then it's pennies. Oh, and concentrates are cheaper and better lately. Other than that, I haven't noticed anything. Echoes answered with, I did a trip to Amsterdam last year and visited the museums and cultural sites rather than straight up going to a weed cafe. Why waste a perfectly good vacation if I can buy weed at home? We had a guy in Mexico try to sell us weed on the beach. No thanks, man. I'm not risking Mexican jail for something I can get at home in a way less skeezy way. I don't even really like pot, but I love going into the stores. They are so boutique, and pre-COVID one of them had all these sniffing jars so you could smell the different kinds. It was super neat. When I was on vacation in one of those resorts in Mexico, I had a dude offer to sell me weed for $50 a gram and I laughed at him. He looked kinda pissed. Alex Minecraft QC answered with, feels weird to buy my weed from the government now. But they make good poop, and $17 for 3.5 grams is not too bad. Also, now you can choose how much THC or CBD you want in it exactly. Darn. That's cheaper than I can get it on the street around here. Wait until you hear how much medicine costs. I actually don't buy it from the government. I order it online and I get an O for $120. When it first became legal, the prices were way too high. But yes, it's finally at the pricing it should have always been. Which I am truly grateful for. Dog Soldier 67 answered with, I've been pretty high. I was going to cut the lawn, but then I got high. OJ 1982 answered with, honestly, I haven't noticed much as far as day-to-day goes. Maybe a handful of times in the past 2 years I smelled weed in public. But it's not like that never happened before it was legal. What else hasn't changed is that if I mess up at work, they P-test you. And if you have any trace of marijuana in your system, they fire you. Even though it's legal to do it at home, the testing of it is still so inaccurate compared to alcohol. So basically I'm still not allowed to do it, because it stays in your system so long. So I can be an alcoholic all I want, it's fine because it's out of your system in 12 to 24 hours. But I can't eat a few gummies, and chill out on the weekend because the following week, it'll be in my system long after the effects have worn off. The worst part is that in my industry, there isn't a lot of appetite for change either. Most people don't exactly want to bring this up with their bosses, due to the stigma that only useless people smoke or do weed. So I guess I'll continue to be an alcoholic. Deleted answered with, though rarely, weed is now more often discussed casually in office settings by boomers. Also, I had somebody give a professional PowerPoint speech on their work in the marijuana industry. I still remember having to sneak out behind the bins to have a reefer and panic about cops. So this is all still weird to me. Before COVID, I would go to senior centers and retirement communities and do a PowerPoint on cannabis. It was always pretty popular. Yesterday, in a Zoom meeting with a 20-plus group of people from my office, in Montreal, somebody casually said, in a night when you smoke some weed and watch Netflix. And some 6 or 7 of us in the call nodded and agreed with our heads. So I think it's as common as saying drinking a glass of wine by this point. We had a work-related Zoom-type meeting for a retiring coworker. Everyone had their wine. I told them I smoked my wine. Patricia Afime answered with, my mom wants to try it now. I bought my mom a small amount from OCS for a Christmas present when it became legal. because she kept half kidding about wanting to try it. Her reaction was hilarious. Best Christmas memory plus video. Blueberry Kush? What is it? Indiana Johns answered with, well, I grew some in my yard. And now I've got more weed than I'm ever gonna smoke. So there's that. Jack Onaji answered with, I once was arrested for smoking a joint outside my house in my girlfriend's car after a movie date. They needed 4 squad cars for that arrest. Type Jr. answered with, all of my tenants say, I can smoke in the house now. It's legal. When I said no smoking in the house. Look, it's my video answered with, as a non-pot smoker, absolutely nothing has changed. And finally, French Ticklers answered with, I saw a guy pushing his baby in a stroller while smoking weed. So there's that. Well, there you have it. A perfectly great question answered by a bunch of fine and honorable citizens. Help support this channel by smashing the like and subscribe buttons. And hit that silly little bell as well to ensure you get the latest videos as they come out. Fred is always finding stuff for me to post regularly. So this is Derek signing off. Thanks for watching. Good grief, it sounds like Fred is out of his pen again. I think he found more drama for me to share with you. See you soon.